Thank you so much. Wow, I really was expecting it from them. I wasn't expecting it from James. Look, Lizzy said at the very start of her speech that we get shit leaders because we're shit, right? But, you know, I look at Jordan, I look at James, I don't see people who deserve bad things. I see two angels. You know, like, when they're not bringing joy to people around the world with their comedy, they're focused on their charity work. Did you know that? James runs a foundation for recovering Lord of the Rings extras. and Jordan, well, Jordan runs a refuge for wounded animals right there in her hair. While over here I see three of the most despicable people I've ever debated against. Sure, they're the only people I've debated against, but they're still garbage. We've heard some terrible points from the affirmative side today. I mean, I didn't hear anything that Lizzy Who said after the shocking admission that she's from Brisbane. I did notice that she said she started her comedy career to get better at presenting at her office job. And I know she recently quit her office job to do comedy full time, except for tonight, which was, I guess, a dinner break. Lizzy mentioned that her dad is one of Brisbane's premier ukulele players. Another thing you couldn't waterboard out of me. John Safran, Jesus. He spent his whole time whinging about death threats. Grow up. You know, white supremacists don't hate John because he's Jewish. They hate him because he's annoying. I know that people call you Australia's Louis Theroux, John. But Louis Theroux only hung out with Nazis for one documentary. You hang out with them so much, it's suspicious. Melbourne's Nazis see you more than they see their own kids. Jeez, it was great to hear from Em, wasn't it? I mean, one of Em Rusciano's claims to fame now is that she hosts one of Australia's most popular podcasts. That's like claiming to be one of the world's biggest miniature horses. Okay, we're at the end of the debate. I hear the bells. You've heard the arguments, you've heard the jokes, you've heard the songs. But I'd like to conclude with one thing we have not heard yet. Emotional blackmail. When you're thinking of who we are, who deserves a good leader, better than the ones we've had so far, it's not about us, it's about the future. And what represents the future better than a baby?
No.
Yeah, isn't she cute? That's Olive. Olive's 14 weeks old. What kind of leader does she deserve? Look into those eyes. What kind of leader? You know what? Let's step this emotional blackmail up a bit. Bring out the baby. Yeah, she is.
Can I hold her while you do your thing?
Yeah. Look into her eyes, ladies and gentlemen. I did ask the festival to bring the cutest baby they could, and they said, bring your own. Does she deserve ScoMo, or Albo, or Tono, or Kevo, or even King Charles-O? Or does she deserve a better future? Someone like Sam Neill. If you let the other team win, you with your applause, you are ruining the future of this baby and all other babies. Thank you, good night.